This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's continuation of the study session itself first. So yesterday we discussed about some fundamentals. Ramesh, you
Sorry.
have to mute your.
Yeah, sorry. One question. So, how are we going
Yeah.
to get these videos and the PPT and all?
PPTs I'm going to send in the PDF format, and the videos on demand request. Whenever you are absent, then only you will get the videos actually, because every videos the paid services will be there. So all the things I'm not going to keep. So by default recording will be enabled, but if someone is missed, then only I will say okay, store in the cloud. Then only it is accessible. So what's my plan actually? I will record the sessions, but I'm going to disable all the recording session which I doesn't require, because what's going to happen here, I have a limited GB space in the cloud. So if every session will be hosted in the cloud, then I have to pay more, and it's completely different because only 2 GB of data is there. So what is my plan? I will record the session. If someone is missed, then I'm going to share the link. Maybe they can use that link to get that. So every session can't be stored in the cloud. That's the thing. So whenever you miss the session, let me know. I will host in the cloud and I will share the link. Once you, I mean, you can see that video or you can download the video, depends on the requirement. That's the plan.
No, in case if you want to refer something after 2 months down the line or one.
Then you will get the PPT has a reference for that. Every
Okay.
session has a PPT, and the PPT will convert it into PDF format. I will be share those all things soon. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yesterday's session we discussed some fundamental things of the shift. Let's continue those one. First we discuss about the shift data types. So integer, uint, those are primitive data type which come from the C language and which has a different variations, 8, 16 and 32, as well as 64-bit compatibility, depends on the operating system. Float is a 32-bit float value, double is a 64-bit double value. Bool is going to store true or false. String is going to maintain the collection of characters. Character is going to maintain the single character, and there is a specific thing called optional. Optional is not a data type. It is one kind of behavior in the shift which says to the compiler either data can be hold or the data is a nil. So tuple in the sense it is going to maintain the group of the values in a single component. Group of the values can be the same type or can be the different type. So optional. So in shift is a powerful concept. Compatibility issue. Optional in the sense nothing but either it can store the value or nil. So whenever we are going to create a optional variable in shift, we have to make what? Question mark. But if you are working with the optional, don't treat that is a normal variable. Whenever the variable is optional, in order to access the data, you have a different kind of in order to access the data, you have a different kind of approach that is called unwrapping. So if you are working with optional, in order to access the data, always you have to unwrap the data. So in order to unwrap, there should be a crash-free unwrapping process. So what is crash-free wrapping in the sense, either you can use the forced wrapping concept, either you can use the normal wrapping. So what is type alias? Type alias is nothing but is a keyword which is used to create a dummy name or nickname to existing data type. Shift optional means it can maintain the data or it can be the null. What is the use of optional? Anyone can tell me what is the use of optional? Why optionals are there in the shift?
To avoid the crashing of the application first.
No.
Or to determine whether the value is in the variable or not.
No, if you want to use a variable straight away, you can use a variable, but optional has a some specific concept. Why optional in the sense the primary is memory management. See, I want to create a variable. I don't want to maintain throughout the application, or I want to use a variable for the somehow later I want to deallocate the memory. So for every variable you can't do like this. So what this optional is going to do, whenever you have a variable and that variable later you don't want to use, simply you can make a nil. So use the variable until it's required. Once you say nil, the memory will be destroyed automatically. That is a one. And the second one is sometimes application need a data from the server, and maybe the data maybe sometimes exists, sometimes may not be exist. So this optional is a good approach, says that if the data is there, then only try to use. If the data is not there, I can maintain the crash free application. So we can utilize the memory more properly according to the requirement. That means if it is optional, whenever you don't want to use that variable, simply you can assign the nil, then automatically memory is going to deallocate for that variable. And the second one is that sometimes whatever the data I'm getting from the cloud server, it can be exist, may not be exist. In that particular case, I have to use optionals. Then what is the difference between question mark and exclamation mark? Question mark is indicating that variable is optional, whereas the exclamation mark is called unwrapping. So if you are going to work on the optional, in order to access the data, have to unwrap. In order to unwrap, you have to use exclamation mark at end of the variable. So forced unwrapping versus optional unwrapping. Forced unwrapping means directly accessing the data from the optional variable without checking any condition, and it is a risk it can be crashed if the data is a nil. Force unwrapping means accessing the data directly from a variable without checking its status, whereas optional unwrapping in the sense checking the status. After checking the status, we got a confirmation that is not nil value, then we are unwrapping. That is called optional unwrapping process. Okay, then the basic continuation process. Shift basic operators. So whatever the fundamental operator you know in other languages like C, C++ or Java or the .NET, all the operators are compatible in Shift also. Apart from the existing operator, there are some specific operators are there which are compatible to Shift itself. So if you consider assignment operator, that is simple equal to symbol which used to assign the data, whereas arithmetic operator plus minus addition subtraction multiplication division mod all are supported. Then unary plus operator, compound assignment operator. Compound assignment operator means like a equal to a plus b. In place of writing a equal to a plus b, we can write a plus equal to a minus equal to. Like assignment operator can be combined with another operators, those are going to call compound assignment operator. This compound assignment operator can be combined with arithmetic operator, can be combined with some relation operators also. Then comparison operator, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equals to, equal equals to, not equals to. Whereas a logical operator, not, and, or, all are exist from other language. It doesn't have any specific. Conditional operator, that is ternary, question mark and colon. So among this list of operator, which operator is not supported in Shift means increment decrement operators will not there. So if you consider C, C++, Java, there is a plus, plus, minus, minus. Increment, decrement operators are there. So in Shift, increment, decrement operators are not there. If you want to perform any incremental operation or decremental operation, you must go with the arithmetic plus, arithmetic minus only. So addition, subtraction only you have to use, or the combination of compound assignment, plus equal to or minus equal to. No increment, decrement operators. If you are using increment, decrement operator, it gives error. Not at all, it is exist. So apart from that, rest of all are exist, even though bitwise operators also there. Then bitwise operators, so bitwise not, or, XOR, and left shift, right shift, everything is exist. So these are the basic fundamental operators which are comes from the C language itself. Nothing special to Shift, everything is compatible from C language itself. Only the condition increment decrement operator will be not exist. So what is the use? When you want to perform any kind of basic arithmetic operations, then you can go for the arithmetic operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, anything. If you want to compare or if you want to write a conditions, then you have to go with relational operator, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equals to. If you want to write a logical operators, then logical and or, and the conditional operator ternary. We will discuss according to requirement. Bitwise operators, I can't see any kind of real use in the bitwise operators, but yes, if something low level memory related or some system level programming if you are doing, maybe the bitwise operators can be used. But in my real time when I'm working on the iOS application, I never seen somewhere we are using the bitwise operators. Okay, so these are the fundamental operators and all are compatible in Swift itself, and it comes from C language, not from their own. Then come to the next one. What is Swift specific some operators? Nil collision operator is a Swift specific, that is question mark question mark.
One question. Since you
Yeah.
told that increment and decrement operators are not there,
Yes.
why that concept is removed?
I'm not sure why they removed, because the behavior of increment decrement operators is completely, what I can say, it's not optimized. For example, I will go with the old traditional. When you are working with the C, increment decrement operator, if you are working on the Turbo C editor, if you are working on the Windows compiler, if you are working on the Linux compiler, it has a different behaviors. So it like plus plus a if I am using, or a plus plus I am using, it will generate a different output on the different particular compilers. So in Swift also open source project. It's not specific to Windows or it's not specific to OS. So it's an open source programming anyone can use, and there is a compatibility. It can use Windows or Linux or Mac. So I'm assuming that if they have the problem with the behavior, that's why they eliminated this operator. So that is a primary concern from my side, but there is no any proper documentation why they removed. But only the concern, maybe the different behavior is there, that's why they removed. Because I have the experience with the increment decrement operator, especially in the Windows compilers or the Linux compiler, it gives a different output to you. That's why I'm thinking they removed. Except that one, there is no standard document what is the reason they removed. Okay, then so here nil collision operator is there. What is this nil collision operator? How we will use the nil collision operator? Let's go into the practical, I will tell you. So here nil collision operator, we have to give double question mark. Then the next one, range operators are there. This range operators has the variations. Closed range operator, three dots, dot dot dot, if you say, that is called closed range operator. Off range operator, dot dot less than. Then one side range is, as you can see, closed range means it will travel from A to B. So 1 to 10 I want to travel. If I want to travel from 1 to 10, I can use a closed range operator from 1 to 10. Off range in the sense the last value will not include it. That means if I'm going to use off range operator from 1 to 10, then I am traveling from 1 to 9 only. Last value will not included in the off range operator. Closed range operator will travel from X to Y, whereas the off range operator will travel from X to Y minus 1. So the last value will not included in the off range operator. Whereas a one side range, it can be dot 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 upper limit, or it can be dot 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 lower limit. So I will explain you internally how it is going to use. These are going to call as a closed range operator. These are the specific to the Swift. So rest of all are comes from the basics only. Okay. Any doubt? In practically you will learn how it is going to use. Then control flow statements. So you know the control flow statement. Control flow statement is nothing but controlling the behavior of your program, or controlling the execution flow of your program is called control flow statement. And those control flow statements can be conditional statement, if else switch, iterative statement, while, for in, repeat while. There is no do while. So we have three standard loops: while, for, do while. Any other languages, when it comes to the Swift, while is there, for is not there, for in will be there, repeat while is there, do while will not there. So while, for in, repeat while, these are the three iterative statements you are going to use in the Swift. Then control transfer statements: continue from C itself, break from C itself, follow through. This is specific to Swift. Return and throw. These are all control flow statements. Apart from this, again they have some additional stuff. early exit called guard statement. So these all are we are going to use. Nothing is nothing is a specific topic related. Everything is practically usable. So simple condition, if else or switch, iterative statement, while, for, in, repeat, while, whereas a control transfer statement is a continue, break, follow through, return through, and early exit is a guard statement. Okay, now these are the theoretical. Let's enter into the practicals. Okay, so open the Xcode. Create a playground. Operators. Foundation. What is the difference between A value and B value?
It can
So
be optional.
basically, yeah.
Go ahead.
Um, A value can be optional, which can be either nil or either some value, or int is like fixed. It should be it is 20 only.
Yes, so always B value is a fix, it should be exist, it never be nil, whereas A value there is a possibility it can be nil somehow after. Okay, then let's say let some value, I can give directly A value plus let me first create a optional because I want to explain nil collision to you. Okay, I created a sum value. Now I want to calculate sum value. Sum value equals to A value plus B value, basic arithmetic. So if you want to do same operation with the combination of what? Compound assignment, then we can do sum value plus equals to, oh, this is a not simple component statement, and value of optional type integer. Right, this is the case. So what it is saying that A value was optional and you are trying to use it. So whenever you are using a optional variable, in order to access, we have to unwrap the data. That's why it is saying that force unwrap. So I can give like this. No, we can't do like this. Then what is the alternate? See the alternate. Sum
Using if,
value equals, sorry.
by using if condition one option.
Yeah, possible, but another optional which I was introduced today itself. A value, I know this is optional, right? So I know this is optional, maybe it can nil. So whenever it is nil, I can assign some default value. Then make sure question mark. It's called nil collision operator. 0 plus B value. So comment this line, print some value. Now here, what it does here. So nil collision operator, it's a condition type, or you can imagine it's a condition type. Okay, there is a value, it is optional. If this is nil, then utilize 0. This is a concept. So if it is nil, utilize 0. Right now, what is the sum value? If you are expecting the sum value, it will print 10. Why it is printing 10? Why it is printing 10?
We have to force unwrap it. Only then the value will come.
But here I am giving already, right? If it is optional, pick the data. So a value 10, whereas a b value 20, then some value is a nil, but here, okay, you are saying that force unwrap. Now force unwrapping. Then also it is giving 10 only. Okay, try to do like this. It's giving 30. Okay, now see here. Now try like this. So can you understand what is the flow, why it is behaving like this? So here what's happening, if you say like this, it's not going to consider this as an expression. It will try to pick only one value directly, and it is assigning 10 directly to that variable. So here, this nil collision operator specific to expression or the specific to a value only? This nil collision operator is a specific to a value. So what we are doing right now, when I say parenthesis, from this entire expression, pick only one value, either 10, either 0. So pick only one value, either 10, either 0, and it is picking 10, and this is returning 20, and you got the 30 as a value. Okay, then let's say if I am going to assign like a value equals to nil. Yes, I can make nil, it is possible. So if I make nil this one, then if I'm going to print second value, then I am getting 20. That means when it is nil, it is picking what? 0. Now I will say, okay, when it is nil, pick 40. So if it is nil, pick 40. Then my value should be 30. 40 plus 20, it is printing 60. Perfect. So this is one more alternate way to work with what? To work with the optional. So you can use force unwrap, or you can use optional unwrap, or you can use nil collision operator. But whenever you are using the nil collision operator, left hand side expression must be optional, and right hand side you have to provide a default value. So optional variable nil collision of default value. So if optional is nil, it returns default value. This is the behavior. So whenever you say optional variable question mark, that is nil collision and the default value. So if optional, if optional is nil, it returns a default value. This is a behavior. This is one more kind of safe programming when you are working with the optional. Okay, let's say I want to go with a simple finding the maximum value or something like this. Can say simple if else statement. Let x value equals to 10. Let y value equals to 20. Let z value equals to 30. Now I want to find out the max value. So I want to find out the max value, where max value is integer optional. Okay, how to construct the simple if of x value is a greater than of y value at the same time and x value is greater than of z value. You no need to give any parenthesis when you are working with if else. Else if of y value is greater than of z value, else. Right. So what it is doing? If x value is greater than y value and what is the logical and behavior?
Both the statements should
For the condition.
compulsory,
Should be
right?
true, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So logical and if you consider true combination, it returns true. If any other combination like true false or false true or false false, it returns false only. This is this behavior. Whereas OR behavior is what? True true or true false or false true. It returns true. Whereas false false, then it returns false. Whereas a NOT behavior, if true, it returns false. If false is a reverse. If it is false, it returns true. That's it. Same behavior. So whenever say x value is greater than y value and an x value greater than z value, then max value must be x value. Simple expression. I'm not writing a big logics, just I'm explaining the simple syntaxes to you. Max value equals to y value. And finally, else part is that max value equals to z value. Then print of max value expression of max value, right? Then it is saying that try to use. So what I can do? Question mark. I can use nil also. or better to go for 0? Right. So in place of doing like this, what we can do, we can ask that if we can write like this also. If max value not equals to nil, then also we can do like this. So if you are running the program, see you got max value 30, 30. Done. So here, what is the syntactical changes we are observing between the C, C++, Java, or the C# or any other background? One thing, there is no semicolon. That is a standard way of shift. Second one, there is no parenthesis. Even though you are going to write like this, or even though without that one also, it's fine. It's no problem at all. So whenever you are working with the shift, at the time of constructing any condition, using the parenthesis is optional. If you require to combine something specific expressions, then yes, you can go with what? Parenthesis. So if you are working with a simple if-else statement, you no need to worry about the parenthesis. By default, it is optional. Okay. Then now, if you see here, whatever the logic is constructed, this logic is completely simple expressions. This logic doesn't have the complex expression. It doesn't have a complex behavior. It's a simple logic. So whenever you are using a simple if-else statement, in place of constructing these all things, we can go for what? Ternary operators. So we can go for the ternary operator. That means in place of doing these all things, what I can do, I can go for the ternary operators also. So see, you guys are using Windows, right? If you can select these lines, let me try this one. Select these all lines. Done. Select these all lines. Then if you are using the Windows laptop, control, and there is a question mark symbol like this, commenting multiple lines in a single flow. Control question mark. Can you try? Puneet,
Yes, sir. Done.
it's right. It's a control plus question mark button, right? Or you are using Mac or something?
Yeah, it is an hack so no problem.
Okay, I mean to say the layout, if it is a Windows layout, then control and question mark symbol, multiple lines. So this is a behavior. Otherwise, you can go like the same button, commit, uncommit, comment, uncommit. Same button can be used for both options. Okay. Now, if you want to do multiple comments, then you can go like this, or else you can go like this also. Both are valid. Now, what I'm trying to suggest here, whenever you have the simple if-else statement, in place of constructing simple if-else, you can go for the conditional operator. That is nothing but conditional operators or ternary operators. So how to do with this one? Max value equals to x value is a greater than of y value. At the same time, x value is a greater than of z value. If it is true, I will say x value is a maximum, or else y value is greater than of z value, question mark of y value colon of z value. This is one more approach. So if you have a simple if else statement, this is a way to do those all options. Finish. Let me explain the flow. So how it is going to work? Split into 3 steps. This is something called left side expression. This is something called middle expression. And this entire part we are going to call as a right side expression. Okay. So according to the flow, this expression is satisfied. So x value is what? 10, y value 20, z value 30. So if you consider this expression, x value 10, 10 greater than 20 is false, and 20 greater than 30 also false. So whenever the left side expression is false, then your control will goes to right side expression. So on false, it goes to the right side expression. So in the right side expression, what is there again? In the right side expression, again it has this expression, y value. What is the y value? 20. 20 greater than 30, false. So when it is false, again it is moving to right side, and this is the final resultant value which assigns to max. This is the behavior. So when you are working with the conditional operators, if the left side expression is a true, then it returns a middle value. If the left side expression is false, then it returns a right side. So in the right side also, if you have one more expression, again same thing, left, middle, right. So left side expression false returns the right side. If the left side expression true, returns the middle argument. So whenever you have a simple if else statement, in place of writing the simple if else statement, for code optimization, for reducing the code, you simply can go with the ternary operators or conditional operators. The best approach to use this operator on the specific cases. Clear? Anyone has any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, now continue. So these are the basic fundamentals, arithmetic, relational, but we'll carry on. Working with switch statement. So what is switch? I mean, what is if else and switch means? If you are working with the if else, you can take the decision of only one block. If you have the multiple block decisions, then you can go for the switch statement. By using the switch statement, we can handle the multiple options together. Right. Let's say let device name of equals to iPhone. Okay, then I will say switch off device name, case of pattern iPhone, then the code print it's iPhone, case of iPad, let's say it's iPad. Case MacBook, I will say print it's MacBook. Default break, or I will write some statement also. No any device. Done. So if you executed the program, what will be the output for this one?
It's iPhone.
It's iPhone, right? So what are the things we have to understand here? First thing, some key points I will tell you here. First point, every switch statement must have default, else it's error. So if you remember your old traditional languages, C, C++, Java, so every switch block doesn't require a default block. Maybe default is optional, but here every switch block must be have a default. Number two, switch statement can take any kind of argument. If you consider only integer, some example I'm giving. Number 3, case can be combined with multiple conditions or expressions or tuple also. Nested condition also possible with where keyword. Okay, so let's say this one, remove default. So it giving the error to you. Switch must be exhaustive. So it required what? Default statement. Then switch statement can take any kind of argument. Now for the second example, let my code of character equals to, I will say I. Then switch off my code. Then I can say A, I can say B, I can say C, I can say D. Print alpha characters A, B, C, D. Case of, I'll say I, print its matching case. Then I will say case of something else, 10, 20, 30. Print numbers. Default. So I don't want to write anything in the default. Oh, sorry, the type I was sended, it's mismatching. So I don't want to write anything in the default. What you can do, you can write simply break statement. So here, the point number 5, in shift only one case can be match. How I have to explain this statement to you? Okay. In C or languages, from matching case until break is occurred, everything prints or executes. But in Swift, only matching case and print. I think this statement you can understand. So I will here I can explain you. So in this particular condition, so when I say let device name is the iPhone, from here it is executed only iPhone. But if you consider same example in the Objective C or the C or C++, from here everything will be executed. So explicitly we have to write the break statement when you are working with the C. So what I'm trying to say here, when you are working with C or C++, from matching case until the break is occurred, everything is going to execute. But in Swift, only specific matching case will be executed. Okay, only the specific matching case is executed. So if only the specific matching case is executed, then if you want to execute the continuous statement, then we have to use follow through keyword. We have something called follow through keyword. So let's say this is in order to print next statements, we have to use follow through. So if I executed this one, then you see that it's printing its iPhone, then I was having a follow through statement, then it's printed iPad also. Then after iPad, if I place again follow through statement, again it will print next statement. After MacBook, if I say again the follow through statement, then is going to print rest of. I hope so clear this concept. So when you are working with the Swift, by default only matching cases occur. Only the matching case will be executed. If continuation of following statement, if you want to execute, then simply you have to write follow through keyword, and this follow through keyword will pass the control to the next line. So if you don't want to use a follow through keyword, then it is going to print only the matching condition. That means only the matching statement is going to execute, rest of no any statements are going to executed.
So it means, sir, when we use fall through, each and every statement will execute.
Not each. You are promoting to your company. Okay, let's say in this particular example, case iPhone is executed and you say follow through, that means you are saying that next case execute, not all.
Okay.
So if I place a follow through after case one, now this case is matching, this is executed, you say follow through, that indicates that try to execute the next one, that's a stop. So after this, again you want to execute next continuation, again you have to write. That means until you want to stop the execution, you leave the follow through statement. But if you are writing the follow through statement, means the subsequent or the next case automatically will execute.
Okay.
Is there any real value for using fall through, or
Yes.
it's just
No. We have the cases actually. We have the real-time concepts for this one. So it's not only the concept. Yes, it's are the some use cases. So there are the some use cases are there where maybe have a condition-based flow, but later on some other condition also, or later on other statement also I want to execute, then you can place a follow through statement. Possible. There are the use cases. Just make sure that from the matching case, if you want to execute the next of statement, then write a follow through statement. Otherwise it will execute only the matching case. It's not going to execute rest of case. It is a complete entire different behavior from other languages. In other languages, from matching case until the break is occurred, everything will be executed, including default also. But in Swift, from matching case only it will execute. If you want to promote the to execute the next statement, then explicitly you have to write follow through, otherwise it's not going to execute. Okay, and here in the second example so default is mandatory, but don't think always the default code we need to maintain, because let's say I was defined all the matching cases in my switch block. When I define all the matching cases in switch block, I don't have the default block. So default is mandatory. If you are remove the default, you will get the error, but I don't have statement. You can write break, or sometimes you can write empty semicolon, or simply you can give like this also. Still it is valid. Still it is valid. You can write like this also. Okay, so from first one to second one, what is the difference means? In the second case, we have the multiple condition. Let's say I was passing here. Now I will pass C. If I pass C, alpha character ABC. If I pass D, D, like this. So multiple conditions also you can combine if you required.
One question, that default when you put open and close, what does it signify?
Sorry?
The default line number 18, the
Yeah.
bracket close parenthesis put there. What does it signify there?
See, every case, okay, or the default must be required a statement. Let's say if you don't have the statement here, it gives error to me, because as per the rules, whenever you are having a case label in switch, should be have at least one executable statement. Okay, now default also one special kind of case, it required an executable statement. So there is no executable statement, it will give error. So what I have to do, explicitly have to create a dummy statement. I can give like this, simple semicolon. It indicates is a dummy statement. So in place of doing like this, I can write a break. It's considered as a statement. It works fine. Or if you give the parenthesis, it's considered as a dummy statement. That's it. Empty statement.
Okay.
Right? So these are the basic syntax of if else, conditional operator, relational logical operators you can write, and the switch. Now just close this playground and create a new playground and make sure something called loops or iterative statements. Okay, I was thinking to write something. Okay, let's say So what do you mean by the loop? Loop in the sense nothing but iterative statement. Continuation, if you want to execute something, then you can go for the loop. So let's say I want to write while loop. Example. Let's say I want to print simple. Don't go for the complex because only the syntax we have to learn. Print even numbers from 2 to 20. Let's say this is a simple requirement. Okay, then what I have to do first, let's say one variable I have to construct. Let I value starts from 2, then let max value ends with 20, then for iterating variable of I don't want, then see the while statement, while condition, see parenthesis doesn't require. Now I will say I value less than or equals to max value, then print of I value, then I will increment I value by 2, then if I execute it, I will get the output take the variable. So if you see it's printed everything in the new line, new line, new line. So completely how many times it was executed? 10 times it was executed and 10 times it was printed the values. So started from 2, incremental by 2. What is the statement? I value equals to I value plus 2, that's it. But I don't want to print in multiple lines. Got my point? I don't want to print in the multiple lines. So if you don't want to print in multiple lines, you want to print in the single line, then we can go for something called string interpolation. So how to use this one? Let's say similar kind of flow only. Then comment this line. See that where result equals to empty string. Then while of I value less than equals to max value. So what is my intention? In place of printing the new lines, I want to print continuation statement. Okay, then value equals to result equals to result existing data plus concatenation. It's a string. Plus means not adding, concatenation of a space plus plus value of I plus 1 space. So even though in the printf statement we are using like this, right? This is going to call string interpolation. So string interpolation means within the string injecting any values. placing any other type within string. So this is a string and I am combining, like even though yesterday class or today's session in printf, we are combining multiple values. So this is forward slash, this symbol, both are different. Okay, we have to use a backslash actually. Use the backslash, open the parenthesis, then if the value type inject, because if you remember the day one session, I was explaining you, we don't have the format specifier. So if you don't have the format specifier, you can inject the data like this. Then I value equals to I value plus 2, or you can write I value plus equals to 2. Then finally print result. Now you got same output in single row. Finish. And then working with for in. There is no for loop, there is a for in is there. Same behavior, same program, how we can use in the for in. Okay. Let's say again reset this assign value, a result equal to empty string, because it works on a continuation process. That's why result equal to empty string for I value. From where to where we have to travel? From where to where we have to travel? From 2 to 20, right? Then say 2 dot 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 of 20. Then result equals to, or result plus equals to I value plus, I can add a space, print result. Space was missing. Why it was not printed max value? What is the max value again? 20. What's wrong then? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. See here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What's happening? What's happening? Because it is traveling from 2 to 20. We don't have the incremental 2 here, so it's called full range operator, right? It's traveling from 2 to 20. Okay, so if I say off range, same thing. If I'm going to use 2 dots and less than, then my result traveling up to 19 only. So the first one is going to call closed range. Then the second one is going to call off range. So closed range, off range, 3 dots. 3 dots is a closed range which includes the last value, whereas the off range which doesn't include the last value. So this is only the basic syntax, but the usages will be in the different. Let's say if you are using a string, it has a different behavior. If you are using array, it has a different behavior. If you are using dictionary, it has a different behavior. So depends on the type, it will change dynamically. But the syntax is same for I value in 2 to 20, or it's 2 to 20, it's 2 to 19. This is the behavior. So what is the next one? Do while, right? We don't have the do while. Repeat while is there, right? Let's say the while statement. So if you see in here, repeat while same as do while. So what is the need? So what is the difference between do while and the for in? Means is a repeat while, right? In the repeat while, once statement will executed without checking condition. This is only the thing. So even though the value of x is 10, it's printed 10 first, then X value implemented. That means irrespective of condition, once the body is going to execute automatically, that is a repeat while behavior. Irrespective of condition, body will be executed automatically once in the repeat while. Okay, now try to combine switch with the loop. What I'm trying to do, for int value, let's say 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, switch off value, pattern is value what is my expectation here? I want to combine the condition actually. Combining the condition in the sense 1 to 20, where value mod of 2 equal to 0, print even string interpolation of value. Okay, and alternate case 1 to 20, 1 to 20, where value mod of 3 equal to 0, print other value of value. So what's happening here? Loop is traveling from 1 to 20. It is a closed range operator and the value is taken as a parameter. In between 1 to 20, where is the subcondition of the case, where the value mod of 2, if it is divisible by 2, then I am printing the value. Same thing in 1 to 20, where if it is divisible by 3, then I am printing this one. See, I am printing some different 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 are the even numbers, whereas the other is a 3, is a 9, and it's a 15, like this. So when you are working with a switch statement, you can write a multiple, you can write a nested condition where you can eliminate some specific things from the switch, where you can combine the where closer also. So while for in repeat while, continue and break is already there. Continue will use return through, these all will use next level.